In this video, we are going to be taking a look at the Matador Freefly16. I'm Tom, the founder of Packhacker, and we love helping people optimize their travel experience with guides and reviews just like this one. So if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Let's jump right into the Freefly16, pretty much the next iteration of the Daylight 16, even though Matador says they are mutually exclusive. So let's jump in. From an aesthetic perspective, the Freefly16 is offered in charcoal gray, which is basically a black on black, with the exception of the white Matador logo on the exterior of the compression sack. We think this is a more mature color option. The Daylight 16 was offered in like an indigo, which actually looked a little bit more like a blue, and then also a gray color. So the black on black offers a bit more of a polished look overall. However, aesthetics are always in the eyes of the beholder, so we decided to poll our Instagram audience over at Packhacker. If you want to be involved in future polls, be sure to head over there and join us. From a branding perspective, we are looking at a subtle gray on black logo on the exterior of the pack, an M logo at the bottom front, a white on black logo on the compression pouch, and then a small M at the base of the straps. This pack also features 30D siliconized ripstop Cordura nylon that's sealed at the edges for additional weatherproofing. Basically, it's thin, lightweight, and overall strong material. We have YKK buckles, which is from a Japanese manufacturer that makes some of the greatest zippers in the world. We also have Duraflex hardware for some of the strap adjustment going on, and then some non-absorbing shoulder straps that are made of non-absorbent mesh material. Lastly, we have some teeny tiny SBS zippers going on in this thing, and they're very small. We're surprised not to see Matador beef these up a little bit more, especially after we've heard a couple reports of zippers breaking after only minimal use. To compare, the interior of our Fjallraven passport wallet, where you like hide extra coins and cards and things like that, is actually about the same size zipper as the entire exterior of this clamshell opening of this pack. Just some food for thought for you. Also, one important note on the materials here is that Matador states that they use waterproof materials on their website. And although this is true and the bag is highly water resistant, it is not waterproof. So you can't just dunk this into the sea or the ocean or anything like that. Water will get inside. However, if you are looking for a waterproof type pack, be sure to check out their Free Rain 24 2.0. That thing does a really great job, and it is highly weather resistant, with a couple improvements as well on the 1.0 version. Starting with the compressed states, the Freefly16 is a little bit larger than the Daylight 16 when fully compressed. Also, the mechanism by which the compression happens is a little bit different. So on the Freefly16, we have this kind of compression roll, similar to what you're going to see on weather-resistant dry bags. And on the Daylight 16, it is a simple drawstring method. Overall, the drawstring method seems to work a little bit better for an item of this size. Like, you're not putting a bunch of stuff in. It doesn't need to be completely waterproof, and it gets it a little bit tighter. With this kind of roll top design we got going on here, it's a little bit harder to compress it fully down, which leaves this being a little bit larger than the Daylight 16 when in the compressed state. A couple great things going on with the compression sack of this thing though is that there's a nice loop here that's folded over so you can hang it up or attach it with a carabiner, anything like that. Also, when uncompressed, the compression bag is attached to the interior of the Freefly16, and this happened on the Daylight as well. However, this time there is an option to detach it if you choose to. So nice little thinking and some nice improvement there as well. One glaring production issue though, at least on our version, is that it's starting to split at the seams here on the compression sack. So actually, let me just compress it and show you a little bit better. Roll the top, boom, like that. So you can actually see that it is splitting and starting to fray at the seams there after only about 2 months of use. Now that we have the bag in the uncompressed state, let's kick it off with the harness system. The shoulder straps are non-absorbing, which makes them ideal for inclement weather, and they're not going to soak up a bunch of moisture. At first, honestly, I wasn't sure what I thought about these. They were a little bit crinkly and somewhat stiff, but after some usage, I started to get used to them and actually started to like them a little bit more than I did initially. And in comparison to the DL16, the previous iterations, the straps would sort of twist up every now and then and you had to kind of straighten them. But with the Freefly16 straps, that doesn't happen. Also, these straps are adjustable via Duraflex hardware. Above the harness system, we have a folded and sewn hook, which is just great for hanging this thing up anywhere you need. Each side of this pack features a water bottle pocket, and it's a big improvement on the DL16 for a couple reasons. First, the elastic on top is thicker, stronger, and more stretchy. It's not quite as hardcore as what we've seen on the Mystery Ranch In-N-Out Packable Day Pack, but it's getting close. Next, there doesn't seem to be as much frayed stitching as we've seen on the Daylight 16 after months of use. Plus, the pack now features compression cinch buckles, which is great for keeping your gear secure. It's just overall a tighter setup, and these details matter in product iteration. Next up, there is one exterior pocket on the front that opens up pretty wide for larger and longer items. And the opening is also a lot wider than the Daylight 16, which is just another great improvement on the pack. Moving on to the inside of the pack, you've pretty much got a giant bucket. The zippers open up in a horseshoe style down to the top of the water bottle compartment. On the interior, you can really see where the Cordura was welded together to create some additional weather resistance on the pack. As far as packing this thing up for the day, we would recommend a padded laptop sleeve if you're going to be toting one of those around. And since the material is so thin, we would recommend placing pointier items or a lot of smaller items in padded packing cubes or some type of pouches so they don't stick into your back as you're carrying this thing around. At the time of this review, I have personally been testing the Matador Freefly16 for about 2 months. Overall, the main benefit of a pack like this is to compress it and stow it away in your larger bag for use when you need it. That's not going to do super well though if that compression bag frays and splits into nothing. Other than that, everything else has been going pretty great. I've been testing it basically as a daily driver, taking it on my bike to and from the co-working space, and just generally taking it around the city. I really dig using the DL16, so the Freefly16 is my personal favorite in this lineup. However, I think a lot of people actually prefer the Free Reign 24 due to the added weather resistance and just generally waterproofness that goes on with that bag as long as you close it securely. I just dig the Freefly16 for popping in my laptop, a couple other items, then I'm good to go to the coffee shop or the co-working space, wherever I end up wanting to spend my time for the day. So to wrap this thing up with some pros and cons, this is very packable and great paired with a larger one bag travel bag. It is highly weather resistant and quick drying, especially those mesh straps. The considered details make for great functionality in a small package. On to some of the cons, the compression system isn't ideal for maximum compressibility and it's starting to rip, which isn't great, only after 2 months of use. The main zipper is quite small and could be stronger. The front pocket is not ideal for quick grab items, although some people may enjoy a larger front pocket. Overall, the Matador Freefly16 offers some great improvements compared to its predecessor. We love the thinking going on with Matador's products and the small form factor. However, the low durability always leaves us wanting more. From the splitting of the compression sack to the smaller zippers, it leaves some to be desired. This is a little bit more excusable on a packable day pack than a main piece of luggage, but we hope Matador considers upgrading these things in those couple of areas. Thanks for taking a look at our review on the Matador Freefly16. Be sure to head over to packhacker.com/newsletter, sign up for that newsletter, and never miss an update. We'll see you in the next video. We also have Duraflex hardware for the strap adjustment, formerly known as the DL16. Nope, those are reversed.